The following review is intended for entertainment purposes and targeted for adult fans of the series.
Hello there, heroes. I'm the voice of the Orange Ranger, and welcome to another Power Rangers Dino Fury Second Era episode review. You know, oddly, the events of the past few episodes could have been setting up for something of an ending. Void Knight has awoken his lady love, the Sporix have all been gathered. Void Knight could leave with his lady, and that would really be it. Obviously it's not, because this is only episode 5, so let's find out why not by taking a look at Stitched Up.
Please make sure you're subscribed to the channel.
Yeah, and make sure you got your notifications set up by hitting that little bell icon.
Right you. What he said was, you can consider checking us out on Patreon or Ko-fi at OrangeRangerVideos.
The episode begins as the energy from the Sporix flows into the machine and Santora's eyes snap open, meaning we have about 10 seconds of the story that take place in 2 episodes at the same time. Slither and Mucus are trying to listen in, but can't hear anything. Void Knight gives Santora something to drink, and what do you know? He has a name too. It's hardly a secret anymore. I even already knew it. It's Tarek. He tells Santora he has a ship almost ready to go so they can leave Earth, with her being surprised that they are still there, meaning she knew that that's where she was when she was injured. Fern and Izzy walk home talking about that new show, Kung Fugitive, and its kick-butt star, Steel Silva. Good to know he's still getting work, and hey, that also means his stunt double Blaze is too. Fern asks Izzy if she'll be her date to the prom. And here we go again, time for the Orange Ranger to complain about the calendar. You see, this isn't necessarily true everywhere, but for most schools, prom is an event held at the end of the year, in the summer, like May. Remember back to the start of the season, 4 episodes ago, when a lady said she was working on her New Year's resolution, and I said I would remember that?
It's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
The two are surprised by Izzy's mother, and wowity wow. How in the world did Warden Garcia end up with her? I guess love really does conquer all. Anyway, she's apparently a dressmaker and offers to make their prom outfits. Fern eagerly agrees, loving her designs, but Izzy reminds her mom of what we learned the first time Izzy morphed. She's not big on dresses or skirts. Her mom says she knows her style and has something cute in mind, and they agree. You might remember that I said with all the Sporix collected, it's a wonder how we're going to have monsters the rest of the season. Well, this episode kicks the can down the road a bit. Kinda literally. None of the other villains know what's going on. A frustrated Mucus kicks the jukebox, and a Sporix pops out of the top and evolves into Jungleo, a Sporix beast that can eat trash and spit out fresh parts. Void Knight walks out to see what the noise is, and realizes that Jungleo can help with a plan, using data he's collected on the Rangers' Zords to build a Zord jammer. At Buzzblast, the Rangers are hanging out watching Amelia's paranormal show when Javi comes in, saying their mom asked him to drop off something for Izzy. She realizes it must be her prom outfit, and opens a beautiful purple dress. She reveals that her anger goes deeper than this not being what she asked for. Growing up, she was always her mother's little model, even though she hated wearing dresses and skirts. She's so angry, she actually throws the dress away. It's not what you wanted, Izzy, but your mom worked hard on that. At least just tell Javi to take it back to her. The Rangers get a call from Solon with what she says is a first. A Sporix beast at the dump. The Rangers find Mucus and Jungleo, the latter eating trash and puking out parts. Mucus says she has to get the parts back to Void Knight, which is a good enough reason for the Rangers to stop them. They morph and fight, but even with Javi using the blazing battle armor, they can't deal with the monster's gas, and they get away. As the Rangers talk over what to do next, Izzy gets a text from Fern. Their bags from her mom got mixed up. Fern got Izzy's tux, which means her mom did listen to her, and the dress was for Fern. Oops, The Rangers hear the garbage man that picked up Buzz Blast's trash and realize the trash was just dropped off. They find the bag with the dress, but it's ruined, torn, and smelling awful. Izzy feels terrible that she's let both her mom and Fern down, and decides to go talk to her mom, while the others will use the city's pollution sensors to find the monster. At Area 62, Void Knight has all the parts, but says they have one more job to do. However, Mucus can't stand Jungleo's breath anymore, attacking with a giant toothbrush. In turn, Jungleo displays a new ability, absorbing Mucus, and saying she can't escape their iron stomach. As they discuss their plans, we see Santora listening in, and even finding a remote to watch a camera feed. Slither will build the jammer, but Tarek needs data on the P.A.K.A. Smash Sword, telling Jungleo to lure it out. Izzy takes the dress to her mom, and we get a really nice and valuable scene as Izzy explains why she overreacted. Her mom isn't mad, understanding why Izzy would be upset. It took her some time to learn that her daughter wasn't just like her, but she realized Izzy is her own person and loves her for who she is. The dress is ruined, but she says together they can make a new one. Void Knight sets up the recording device, and Jungleo barfs out Mucus, apparently not able to hold her in. You do have to be careful when eating certain mushrooms. Slapstick gags aside, VK tells Jungleo to start a fight with the Rangers and to be sure to grow. Can they control when they grow? So they call the Megazord. The Rangers use the city's sensors and detect Jungleo's gas in two places at once. The cliffside where the Zords are stored, and in the industrial district. Zato tells the team to split up to check out both, and interestingly, they once again split into Team Zoa and Team Jaya, Javi saying he'll call Izzy to meet them. Team Jaya finds Void Knight working on the recording device. They morph and attack, but Void Knight once again handles them pretty easily. Weirdly, he seems to glow purple at times, even roaring and doing so, akin to Daishi summoning Zokato power in Jungle Fury. Nerd! About this stuff? Absolutely. Anyway, at the same moment, Jungleo grows. The other three Rangers are morphed already and summon their Zords, interestingly putting the Megazord in blade formation. They use the Elasto Key to hold the monster in their bendy sword, but it breaks free and uses a bubbly burp blast to knock them down. When Ollie says the smell packs a punch, that gives Zato the idea to summon the Megazord. As they do, the device records the data. Javi uses the blazing key again and beats Void Knight back, but as he says, he got what he came for, teleporting away. The rest of the Zord fight is typically short, 4 or 5 punches and then the finisher. This time, Izzy leaps out of the Megazord and catches the Sporix, taking the chance away from Mucus. Tarek returns to base, where Santora has gotten herself dressed. This was a scientific study area. Maybe there were some lady scientists. Anyway, she tells Tarek she's caught up on what's going on, and suggests he use the power of the Sporix Beast for more than just leaving the planet. They can get revenge for what the humans took from them. However, Tarek isn't interested in revenge. He, like many of us to be honest, would rather just leave the Earth with her. and his Zord Jammer will allow them to do that, because the Rangers would clearly use their Zords to try and keep Void Knight from leaving?
I don't get it.
At the Garcia home, we finally get to see the Good Warden once again, and not even in uniform. He's trying to find a way to secretly take pictures of Izzy and Fern in prom wear, since she hates pictures, but his wife tells him to knock it off. The two walk out, Fern in a beautiful purple dress, and Izzy in a white tux with a light green tie and green Converse. It's a look. Weirdly, of all the people to get her name from, Fern gives us Mrs. Garcia's name, Rena, when really I think she'd be calling her Mrs. Garcia, and, you know, her husband could call her Rena? Anyway, Carlos just asks to take the pictures, and Izzy good-naturedly agrees. But how are they getting to the prom? Javi was going to give them a ride, but hasn't shown up. Then he does, driving a stretch limo, appropriately black. Given the size of the ride, Izzy says it'd be kind of nice if everyone else could be there. And hey, it turns out they're inside. Not sure why she'd want them along the way to her prom along with her date, but hey, we get one more cute pic of the whole team plus Fern. While it develops, let's balance these scales. Episode 5, Stitched Up. Prose, a wonderful look at modern girl gender dynamics, a softening of Void Knight's character, and Santora's early characterization. Cons, Sporix Beast feels a little unnecessary, Izzy's conflict relies on a poor decision, and the freaking calendar. You get a jackpot for 3 7s in a row. What about 3 4s? Stitched Up gets 4 scales out of 5. It's amazing how progressive an episode this is. We've already dealt with Izzy not being straight. For the record, it's not clear if she's gay or bi, so I'm not going to assume. Now we can deal with her not being traditionally feminine. In fact, it's very clever to take the cute little explanation of the Sentai footage, ripping off that skirt, and developing that into what's actually a painful part of Izzy's backstory. But there's also healing and forgiveness there, as her rather traditional mother has accepted Izzy for who she is. Both the tomboy that doesn't like dresses, and, via implication, her not being straight. Well done, Dino Fury. I called the last episode a tipping point, and we see that more here with how Void Knight shifts in character. Tarek has not shied away from doing what he felt he had to do, being necessarily ruthless. But now, having his lady love back, we see a softer side of our villain. He's not a conqueror, not a ruler. He was a desperate man, and now that he's finished his mission, he just wants to take his wife and go home. It's a very non-traditional take for a Ranger villain. And if I'm talking about VK's character, let's take a look at his wife. Santora starts naturally demure and confused, adjusting to where she is and how much time has passed. But we quickly see there's a darker side to her nature. She doesn't hesitate to want revenge for whatever was done to them, and clearly has no moral compunction against using the Sporix to accomplish that. Jungleo wasn't needed for this episode. I get they play into the Zord footage used, but really, Void Knight could have been getting these parts himself. It just plays into the comedy of the episode because kids love a stink joke. I think it just comes across worse in this case because of what I said last time. We were out of Sporix in the city, so we had to contrive a way to have a monster, and this was the result of that contrivance. The conflict with Izzy really relies on a momentary lapse in her character. Her trashing the dress was bratty, childish. She destroyed something her mother worked hard on. They do a wonderful job of explaining why it hurt her so much, but it can't help feeling a little contrived. Like I said, just have Javi take the dress back. Yes, there's no story if you do that, but you have to write stories that make the contrivances not feel like contrivances. And yes, another stretch for a third con, but I set this up in the first episode of the season. I had to pay it off here. We're being asked to believe that Void Knight has sent 5 Sporks Beasts in 4 months? What is taking so long? I know the episodes are not every day in the Rangers' lives, and probably not even weekly in the timetable of the show. But to go from New Year's resolution to prom in 5 episodes, well, the entire back semester of the school year is over already. Maybe that's the idea. Get Izzy to summer so school is no longer a concern. The story is coming along slowly but surely, and I am loving the serialized progress. It's been so rare recently, and while Haim Saban may not favor this method of storytelling, I sure do. Instead of just, I wonder what the monster will be this week, we have these specific details to wonder about. Why do the Zords need to be disabled for Tarek's ship to leave? What does Santora want revenge for? And perhaps the most important question, will we learn more about these in the next episode of Dino Fury Second Era, Jam Session? Slither keeps building the Zord Jammer as Void Knight uses a revived Sporks Beast to distract the Rangers. Without their Zords, does one of Javi's favorite musicians have the key to victory? That's going to do it for another Power Rangers Dino Fury Second Era episode review. Thank you, heroes, so much as always for watching. Now that the video's done, you can let me know what you thought of this episode, as well as my review of it, down in the comments below. Make sure you smack that thumbs up button to let me know that you enjoyed this video while you're down there. And if you're looking for a way to support the channel financially that isn't Patreon or Ko-fi, make sure you check out my Teespring store, OrangeRangerVideos, to find things like shirts and socks and masks and etc., etc. If you don't have time to watch these videos and would rather listen to them in the car, on a walk, at the gym, etc., etc., make sure to check me out on Spotify or Anchor.fm at Orange Ranger Audio. Until next time, heroes, salute. May the power protect you. Hello there, heroes. I'm the meaning that we have about 10 seconds of this story that technically Fern eagerly agrees. I shouldn't say dresses, it really is their prom outfits. But his wife tells him to knock it out. For the record, it's not clear whether Izzy is